Gardner went to work against the D-backs, and with timely hitting and some great defense, the world champs took game 1. Tonight, it's game 2 of the series in another NL West showdown next.
Another evening in the desert. We're in Phoenix at Chase Field as we get ready for game 2 of the season. And it's between the Giants and the D-backs. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. As always, beside me is Mike Krukow. Well, a nice opening day win for the Giants last night, but now you forget about that and you start thinking about game 2. It was supposed to be Peavy. It's not. It's Vogelsong. And the Giants actually, when they signed Ryan Vogelsong, this is exactly what they signed him for.
Well, he was a security blanket, and all spring long they backed up Matt Cain. On the days that he would pitch, Ryan Vogelsong would pitch as well, and they stretched him out as if he was in the rotation. And lo and behold, here we are in the first week of the season, and they're going to have to use that security blanket. So Vogelsong steps in. He will not be coddled. He is expected to go 80 to 100 pitches as if it was a regular rotation start. The other good news about this club is that they're swinging the bats well. Last night, a 13-hit performance. 8 of those hits came from the top 3 guys in the lineup, and that's what you have to do if you're going to win ball games at this level.
All right, we'll look for that tonight. Why not? It worked last night. Center fielder Angel Pagan was up to his old tricks last night, making things happen with 3 hits and some dazzling defense. We'll check out Angel's night when we come back to Chase Field, and we'll do that right after this.
by Toyota. #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code ORANGE for free entry.
Back here at Chase Field in Phoenix as we get ready for Giants baseball, game 2 of this 3-game series.
All right, time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. And how much do the Giants miss Angel Pagan? Well, how about last night? He got a double in the first inning, an RBI single in the third inning. Then the fifth, he comes up, and what's he do? He hits another RBI double. And oh, by the way, he absolutely did not stop. He put on a clinic with the glove as well. This is a 2-out snag in the second inning, sliding catch, and lots of energy provided by Angel Pagan. That's our Togo big play the Togo's way.
He played so well last night. Bruce Bochy's going to give him another start today and hit him third. All right, we are getting ready for the first pitch. We'll have the lineups and that first pitch right after this. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 82 degrees here at the yard. Humidity at 12%. Light winds, and the roof is open. And it was open last night, and it was a gorgeous night, as it is right now. Now let's take a look at Bruce Bochy's lineup, and it's the same lineup as last night, with the exception of Vogelsong. Aoki, Panik, and Pagan, they were hot last night. Buster Posey, the cleanup hitter. Then it's Belt, McGee, and Crawford. Blanco will hit 8th, and Vogelsong 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be the 6-foot, 1-inch, 225-pound right-hander Ruby De La Rosa. De La Rosa, in his third year at the big league level, he's 26 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. That's what he did last year with Boston. He made 18 starts, appeared in 19 games, 4-8 with a 4.43 ERA. when you take your at-bats off of De La Rosa, you're going to be aware of a power fastball. I mean, he can get it up there pretty good. You'll see mid to high 90s velocity with 2 and 4 seam movement. He's got a curveball slider, but I think his best specialty pitch is the changeup. And that is a strikeout pitch for him for both righties and lefties. If he has his command, he can be very, very tough. However, his command can be erratic.
So the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's wide. So we get started right on time at 6:40. On the ground, and it's Goldschmidt. He will flip it to De La Rosa, and that's how this game gets started.
Let's take a look at the defense the Diamondbacks will employ behind De La Rosa, starting in the outfield. From left to right, it'll be Peralta, Inciarte, and Trumbo. That's the outfield. Ahmed and Lamb on the left side. Hill and Goldschmidt will be on the right side of the infield. Tuffy Gozuish will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Here's Panic. Panic last night had a good night. As Panic went 3 for 5. He scored a couple of runs, and he takes outside. The home plate umpire, by the way, is Eric Cooper. Drake, Walcott, and Cedarstrom from first to third.
You see a lot of low strikes tonight with Eric Cooper. I think he's one of the lowest strike zones in the game. Doesn't have big corners. In fact, at times he can be tight. I think he's more of a hitter's umpire than a pitcher's umpire, despite the low ball preference.
The 1-1 to Panic. 1-2. Panic last year hit .305 in 73 games. And that's a pretty good changeup.
Well, it impressed Joe Panic. Throughout De La Rosa's career, he's averaged about 7.5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Maybe that wasn't a change.
Yeah, I think it was a breaking ball.
So with 2 outs, here's Angel Pagan. Pagan went 3 for 4 last night. See his numbers from last year. He hit right at 300 in an injury-filled season. And that 94-mile-an-hour fastball is high and wide. He's faced De La Rosa 3 times in his career. He's 1 for 3. Right now trying to get on for Buster Posey, who's waiting on deck. Just underway. Big crowd last night, not so much tonight. The 2-0 pitch. And there's a rocket into right field. That'll be a base hit. See if Pagan goes for 2. He will. And he's got a double, and that's his 3rd double of the season.
Now he knows he has Mark Trumbo in right field, who doesn't have great range. And once this thing goes down the line, I think he felt that he was going to try and go for 2 no matter what. Trumbo gets the ball, and he does not have great footwork to get off the throw. Now, he's got a good arm, just that he takes a while to get rid of it. And Pagan knows all this, and it's an easy coast into second for a stand-up double.
So here's Buster Posey. Buster 0 for 4 last night with a sacrifice fly. And he hits a high drive to left. Peralta back. It is out of here. And the Giants are on the board. Buster Posey, his first home run of the year, his first hit of the year.
Now we saw him in spring training be a much more aggressive hitter on the first pitch of an at-bat. A lot of pitchers try to get that quick strike one that might be the best pitch he sees in his at-bat, and he's been jumping on it. Looking for a fastball. They set the target away. This thing comes back middle in right at the knees, and that's a golf shot. And you knew from the sound. See ya.
So here's Belt. Belt 0 for 4 last night. And he takes in tight. So it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Diamondbacks knew they wanted to keep that ball away from Posey, but De La Rosa could not do it. There's a nice 2-0 changeup. That's a power changeup.
That is a good one.
Now, they softballed Brandon Belt last night, and he didn't do much with it. Gary Cederstrom, the third base umpire tonight, saying no swing on the last pitch.
See if Belt gets a fastball here. The overshift is on, and he rockets this one right to Hill. Right into the overshift, and that'll end the inning. Giants on the board. The 2-run home run by Buster Posey. Vogelsong coming out. So here's Chip Hale's lineup. Inciarte is going to lead things off, followed by Aaron Hill, and Hill's in there because he's got big numbers against Vogelsong. Goldschmidt will hit third. Then it's Peralta, Trumbo, and Jake Lamb. Gozowicz is in the 7th slot. Then Nick Ahmed, followed by Ruby De La Rosa, who's pitching and hitting 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the right-hander Ryan Vogelsong. Vogelsong, 37 years old, 6'4", 215-pounder out of Dowington, Pennsylvania, 9th year at the big league level. And when you take your bats against Vogelsong, he is going to finesse you. He'll be a 90-ish fastball. He'll 2 and 4 seam it with great corner command. That is one thing that he's always had, is good command of those corners. He'll throw a slider, he'll cut the ball, give you a curveball, changeup, and he will throw anything at any time.
So here's Ender Inciarte. Had a couple of hits last night, scored a couple of runs. And he takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 for 10 lifetime against Vogelsong. See his numbers last season, hit .278. And Inciarte looking like he was going to bunt, but really all he was doing was taking all the way.
Well, if you know you're going to take a pitch in the leadoff position, show bunt. Why not? It forces that third baseman to come in, increases your ability to hit the ball past him.
Down the left field line, this is a foul ball.
Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Vogelsong tonight for the Giants, starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Aoki, Pagan, and Blanco. Crawford and McGee will patrol the left side of the infield with Panic and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Hoagie's got the good-looking beard going.
Yeah, he changed it up this year.
One and 2 to Inciarte. Aaron Hill to follow. Got him.
Front door sink. It just nails down that inside knee-high location. And that's what he has to do. He's got to move the ball around. He's got to change speeds. And here, going front door, counting on that movement coming across the inside corner. Doesn't look to me like Vogelsong is overamped at all, being this is first outing of the year. It's opening night for him.
Here's Hill. We mentioned the big numbers for Hill. 14 for 30. And part of those 14 hits, 3 doubles and 2 home runs. And in the dirt to the backstop. Every once in a while you got to throw one of those.
Last time the Giants saw Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, was in Game 2 of the World Series last year in Kansas City.
One ball and 1 strike. 2-1. Giants did not fare well in that game.
He got beat 7-2.
Turned out okay.
Yeah, it all worked out. I agree.
Turned out fine. Two-one pitch at the knees.
And you'll see low strikes with Cooper. We'll see some rubbernecking from some of the hitters too. I think he's got the lowest strike zone, at least one of them in all of the major leagues.
Out of play. Had Hill reaching just a little bit.
This is really not a rush job type of an assignment for Vogelsong all spring long. Vogelsong and Kane would throw on the same day. Vogelsong would stretch it out as if he was going to be part of the rotation, with the idea that if something happened to Kane and there was some inflammation, which there has been in his arm.
Got him.
Ooh. Inside, outside, outside, inside. Right now, Ryan Vogelsong is carving up the turkey.
Plus, he's got a friend.
If you get an umpire looking for strikes, and as Posey exaggerated that target on the inside corner, he never moved his glove. And Cooper is absolutely a believer right now.
Here's Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt takes the first pitch down low. 0 for 4 last night. He did score a run. He does have 4 career doubles against Vogelsong in 24 at bats, 6 hits. If you just joined us, Buster Posey, a 2-run home run in the top of this inning. I think Goldschmidt might have the green light.
Absolutely, he does.
And the walk.
So 4 pitches, 4 fastballs, and a 4-pitch walk.
I don't know if Vogelsong minded that at all.
Yeah, with a 2-run lead and 2 outs, I don't think he was real happy with it. I do believe he felt he got a strike. He should have had a strike on that last pitch.
Here's Peralta, 2 for 5 in his career against Vogelsong. And the first pitch is down low. Peralta got into the game last night as a pinch hitter, and he struck out. So Goldschmidt at first. And there's a strike at the knees. Goldschmidt last year had 9 steals. He was thrown out 3 times. Not that this is a situation where you think he'd go, but you never know.
Ground out in front of home plate is very hard.
Got in on the hands of Peralta at 91.
I mean, think about it. A 1-0 fastball outside corner to knees, and he follows it back up with a fastball above the hands. Right now, he's throwing darts with a fastball.
Up high, 2-2. D-backs last year really had a horrible year, 64-98. They were 33-48 at home, and against teams in this division they were 31-45. Worst record in baseball would allow them to get the #1 pick in the draft. Two balls, 2 strikes. And now Goldschmidt takes off, and this is tapped to Crawford. Crawford will take his time, and that'll end the inning. After 1, it's the Giants 2, the D-backs nothing.
Bay Area Mini.
Giants 2, D-backs nothing as Casey McGee stands in. Here's Ruby De La Rosa, and first pitch swing and a miss. Crawford and then Blanco. McGee fouls this one to the backstop. Last night, Casey McGee went 2 for 3. Scored a run. Drew a walk, so he was on base 3 times. Got him.
This is really an unusually large strike zone for Eric Cooper, who's normally pretty tight. Right now it's time for our Geico quote. This one comes from Bruce Bochy on the Giants' 1-2-3 hitters last night. It just goes to show you, you can throw spring training stats out. The bell rung, and these guys answered it. 8 hits and a walk from the first 3 hitters in the Giants lineup last night, and that's our Geico quote.
Here's Crawford. Crawford 1 for 3 lifetime against De La Rosa, and he attacks the first pitch and he hits it right at Inciarte. And that'll bring up Blanco.
Right fielder number 7, Gregor Blanco.
So here's Blanco, 0 for 4 yesterday. Last year he hit at 260. Has not faced De La Rosa before. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Not a full slate of games on this Tuesday. They usually, with games back on the East Coast or in the Midwest, they will have the day off after opening day just in case the first day has bad weather, and then you got to reschedule it, so they just reschedule it for the next day. A bit high to Blanco.
That's why it is a bit unusual to take a look at the Giants schedule. They open up with 14 straight games, no off days.
Yeah. Tap to Hill at second. And a nice inning for Ruby De La Rosa. Vogelsong's coming out, and he'll face Mark Trumbo.
Foreign players to wear a Giants uniform. Started out in the 1964 season when Masanori Murakami came, and then Tsuyoshi Shinjo in 2002, Keiichi Yabu in 2008, Kinsuke Tanaka in 2013, and this year Nori Aoki will put his name on the list. And those are our cold hard facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Here's Trumbo, Lamb, Gozowicz. And the first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Trumbull missed a home run by a couple of feet last night. That was his only hit. And he hits one into the alleyway. And he hits it very well. And Pagan nearly had it. He tumbles on the track. Trumbo's headed for 3. And that's where he will end up. He's got 2 hits this year, and both are triples. Nice effort by Pagan. He almost had it.
Now, the Diamondbacks are really excited about Trumbo this spring. And he got his base back. Last year, he really had some foot problems. They thought he had a plantar fasciitis. It turned out he had a fracture in his foot. If you've ever hit, played golf, or used your feet for anything with motor skill, if you don't have a good foundation, you cannot control your tennis racket, your golf club, your baseball bat, and that's what was very problematic for him last year. But this year, his foundation is solid. He's feeling better, and he lit it up at camp.
So here's Jake Lamb. And Lamb takes a strike. Lamb had a pinch hit, a big pinch hit in the game last night. He had a double, and that double knocked in 3. And after that hit, it all of a sudden became a game. Went from 5-1 to 5-4.
Vogelsong followed that fastball in. He thought he had it. You know, the mindset of pitchers is if they get a pitch that's off the plate in and it favors a pitcher and they get a call a strike, they're going to want it called a strike the rest of the night.
Of course. Hit on the ground to Panic. This will be an RBI for Lamb. It's 2-1.
That's a good at bat. Defense in the infield was giving Lamb a ground ball RBI if he could put the ball in play.
Number 9, Tuffy Gozowish.
So here's Gozowish. Tuffy Gozowish. 1 for 4 in the game last night. And a first pitch strike at 89. And it's 0-1. Down the right field line, and this is slicing foul.
Well, one thing we've seen the last 2 nights, Tuffy Gozowish can cover the high pitch. And that was right across his shoulders, and he had a similar situation last night. He had a good swing on it. Loves the high pitch. But that kind of goes with the old scout report. Pitch the tall guys up and the short guys down. Gozowish is not a tall hitter.
Covers that inside pitch, but he pulls it foul. 0-2.
Gozowish 5'11". I think that may be a bit of a stretch. It's a great story. I mean, he was raised in the Phoenix area, went to Arizona State, was a Diamondback fan, and here he is playing for him.
Popped him up. Center field. Pagan.
Hey, on opening night, Tuesday, April 14th, we are going to honor Madison Bumgarner's historical 2014 postseason performance. The first 40,000 fans will receive a bobblehead commemorating Mad Bum's NLCS and World Series MVPs, courtesy of AAA. You want tickets? Go to sfgiants.com/tickets.
Everything kind of looks small in those hands. So here's Nick Ahmed. Just an inside corner strike to Ahmed.
I'm not sure Ahmed's a believer in it.
Pulls this one just foul. So quickly, Ahmed falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. D-backs on the board here in the second. Outside, 1-2. Got him, and that'll end the inning. A run for the D-backs. Vogelsong is going to lead things off.
Fans, check out PBTV as we go down on the farm with the Arizona Milk Producers for a look at what's going on in the Arizona.
In town, Amici's delivers.
2 innings in the books here at Chase Field. A lot of Giants fans here tonight. It's 2-1 Giants.
Yeah, she's from the city. You could just tell.
Here's Vogelsong. So you had a clue right off the bat.
I did. Sensed it.
Vogelsong kind of turned it up a little bit last year as a hitter. Even in spring training, he had a couple of hits. You talk about it all the time. There was a time where he could flat out hit when he was a young man.
He first got up. I mean, he was a good hitter. And then when he bragged about his hitting, he didn't get a hit for like 2 years.
High tapper to Hill.
Gives you an idea how hard it is out in front of home plate. We see some high hops here. It's great. We came into the Giants clubhouse after the game last night. We saw Brandon Crawford with. Now watch the bounce coming off this. It's just hard. Crawford was sitting with Casey McGee, and we walked in there, and you mentioned to both the infielders there, "Hey, how'd you like the infield?" And they rolled their eyes.
Spit up their food.
Yeah. Not an easy infield to play because of its speed and its hardness. And it's not as hard as we've seen it in the past. But it favors the hitter.
So here's Nori Aoki with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Aoki bounced out to Goldschmidt to open up the ball game.
One thing that will impress you in watching Aoki's approach, he has a very flat swing. And when you do have a flat swing, and you're very good up in the strike zone, which he is, there is a hole down and in with a breaking ball. Curveballs, hard sliders. A couple of gamer babes enjoying the game.
Got him.
That's that power changeup. He's got a pretty good feel of it. De La Rosa in a much better rhythm now than he was in the first inning. But I think the key is to get him in the stretch. I don't think he's the same pitcher in the stretch that he is in the windup.
So here's young Joe Panik, who struck out in the first inning.
De La Rosa's only been in the stretch for 1 pitch.
Yeah.
With that 1 pitch, Buster Posey hit a 2-run homer.
To left. Drifting back is Peralta, and now down in the corner he makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. De La Rosa is going to lead things off. It's 2-1 Giants. In 1971, Chris Beyer made his major league debut, and he went 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. The Giants beat the Padres in San Diego 7-3. Oh, and by the way, Willie Mays also hit his second home run of the season. Chris Beyer, good Giant, good guy, but could you get him out?
He was tough, smart hitter, great teammate. I learned a lot from Chris Beyer. And I was not a young player when I did all the learning. I always thought Chris Beyer would be a good manager.
I think he got lost a little bit once he got into Montreal. And he was really a good player. Slowly hit, kicks off the mound. Crawford to belt with De La Rosa moving down the line.
He was getting down that line pretty well.
He was. So here's Inciarte, who struck out looking.
Rain delay in Los Angeles.
Inciarte waiting, runs up and slashes one into the seats. It's one where you have to be careful if you're a third baseman that you don't get down that line too far.
Looks like everybody's all right.
Outside to Inciarte. Struck well. Pagan looks like he's got room, and he'll make the catch.
Well, the Dodgers are coming to San Francisco to close out the Giants' first homestand, April 21st to the 23rd. The 21st and 26th are both 7:15 starts, but the final game of the series, Thursday, April 23rd, well, that's a day game. Day baseball in the city, a 12:45 start. You want tickets? Go to sfgiants.com/tickets.
So here's Aaron Hill. Hill struck out looking in the first. One ball and no strikes.
Dan Vogelsong's thinking the same thing.
Rocket to left. Hill is going to move into second base with a 2-out double. Now first base is open with Goldschmidt coming up.
Well, this is where you need to have some protection behind Goldschmidt. I mean, that's an important thing. When you have a hitter of his quality, I mean, the one thing when you're pitching against the D-backs, if you're Vogelsong, you're saying, well, if I have an open base, I'm not going to let Goldschmidt beat me. And David Peralta, I mean, that's going to be a big challenge for Peralta this year to get a reputation around the league to give Goldschmidt that type of protection. Because right now with an open base, Vogelsong does not have to give Goldschmidt much to hit.
And a strike, and it's 0-1. See the numbers for Goldschmidt against Vogelsong. He did not throw him a strike in his first at bat. Blocked by Posey. 1 ball and 1 strike. Should get that one on his bare hand. He might have. Hill at second. Two balls and 1 strike.
Nibble, nibble. And this is exactly how you should go after Goldschmidt. I mean, you can't look up there and say, well, he doesn't have a hit this year and think he's in a slump. This guy is lethal. One of the best bats in all of baseball.
Goldschmidt calls for time. 2 balls and a strike. Foul back.
Got a little leaky with that location. They set the target inside, and that got out over the plate, and you saw the result. Goldschmidt had good balance through this swing. Watch the lower legs plant. Doesn't have a lot of stride, just a little lift of the heel on the front side, and then boom, he just throws that backside right through it. That is great bat speed, and he just missed it.
So 2-2. Song's got a pitch here that he can play with. He's got first base open, so Buster Posey call time. Hill, a 2-out double. He's at second base. Three and 2.
See fastball designed and missed off the plate inside. Fish weren't biting. Good pitch. And this will not be a challenge across the plate at the belt. Stay to a corner, let your movement fall out of the strike zone. Hope he chases. If you walk him, not the end of the world.
Tap foul, so Vogelsong went at him. Stays at 3-2.
Well, they've gone inside with movement that runs in towards Goldschmidt the last 2 pitches, and that will set up a little cut or a little slider in the outside corner down and away. We saw him strike out on that pitch to end the game last night against Santiago Casilla. So in Posey's mind, he did not forget that, and they may go to that location after showing Goldschmidt those 2 pitches in.
Boy, yet another rip. It stays at 3-2.
And they came back inside again, or at least tried to. And again, that one got a little leaky out over the strike zone. That's a mistake to location. And Vogelsong, I'm sure, knows that. You cannot keep tempting fate with Goldschmidt making location mistakes out over the middle.
Three and two.
Oh, great pitch. Great pitch. Both Posey and Vogelsong thought they had it, and you can see the frown from the skipper, woofing at Cooper, because in his mind that pitch has been called a strike as well tonight. Set up outside, very close, and I think it was called correctly. I think it was outside.
I agree. I don't think it was a strike. Here's Peralta. If anybody in that lineup is going to get that pitch, it's going to be Goldschmidt. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, I think he pitched it perfectly. I mean, that 3-2 pitch was a teaser, and you walk him. That's good base management. I mean, you had that base to give. But this is where the big part of the Diamondbacks season it lies in the success of this guy who's going to hit behind Goldschmidt.
Look out. High and deep to right. Gone. So Peralta with his first hit of the season makes it a good one.
Yeah, that's what the Diamondbacks are hoping for. They're hoping that somebody can fill that cleanup spot that gets Goldschmidt pitches to hit, and everybody in the league is going to see this one. And look at the reaction from Vogelsong. He's still thinking about that 3-2 pitch to Goldschmidt. But this was no cheapie. This is a big boy swing of the bat.
So here's Trumbo. This all happened after 2 outs. Trumbo tripled in the second, and he takes a strike. Good pitch, 0-2.
Throw many of those curveballs, but it's working for him. Nice pitch.
Down low. 1-2. So Peralta hits the 3-run home run. And the D-backs take the lead here in the third.
You got to fight through your anger if you're Vogelsong.
And he got him to end the inning. 3 runs on 2 hits and a walk. After 3, 4-2 D-backs. 2 lead for the D-backs as we start off inning number 4. The home run hitters tonight. It'll be Pagan, Posey, and Belt against Ruby De La Rosa, who hasn't allowed a base runner since the Posey home run.
Well, I think that's the goal of this inning. Get him in a stretch. He's only thrown the 1 pitch in his stretch, and Posey burned him. But he's got a nice rhythm out of the windup.
Pagan doubled in the first. That's his 3rd double of the year. And the 2-0 pitch is a strike.
That's a good changeup, and he's done that to take away some fastball counts. Changeup is a really good one. When you could throw it 2-0, 1-0, 3-1, 3-2, you've arrived with that pitch.
Pagan lifts it out of play. It's 2-2.
Backed it up to another one. Had him reaching.
Two pitch. Here it is. Look out. 3-2.
96 right through your legs. It got his attention. You want to accelerate a guy's focus in an at bat? Do this. I mean, I don't know how he got out of the way of that. But that would make him a dodgeball all-star right there.
Absolutely. Here's the payoff, and he walked him. Good at bat.
Yeah, indeed. And then Bochy gets exactly what he wants, and that's to get De La Rosa in the stretch to start an inning. First time that's happened tonight.
Posey's first hit of the year went into the bleachers in the first inning. And a quick toss, and Pagan gets back. Just outside. 1 ball and no strikes with Belt to follow.
Pretty good time unloading, 1.24 seconds. That's right around the norm. Average is 1.25. Anything around that or lower, you're very happy with.
First pitch.
That was a fastball they set up away. It comes back middle in, and he drops the head on it. And you notice the first 2 pitches of this at bat have been breaking balls away.
Outside 2-1. The gap between Goldschmidt and Hill is huge.
There's the hole you're talking about. It's a lot of room.
Pagan goes, and a base hit. And Pagan read it perfectly, and he'll end up at third.
And you made the point about the big hole on the right side. You can guarantee that Posey saw it. One thing about Posey, and he's been impressive ever since he's shown up at the big leagues. He's got pop in his bat, but he's got excellent bat control. Once Pagan leaves in a steal attempt, it takes Aaron Hill, the second baseman, out of his position. Had he sat back and had Pagan not gone, that'd have been a double play. So Mike Harkey very quickly coming out to try and calm the waters with Ruby De La Rosa. Harkey, the pitching coach.
Eric Cooper's going to break it up. So here's Belt. Belt hit the ball well in his first at bat, but he lined it to Aaron Hill. So now an RBI opportunity for Brandon Belt against Ruby De La Rosa here in the fourth. And he takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. On deck is Casey McGee. A walk and a single. And Belt lines it to left. That's a base hit. Pagan scores. It's 4-3. And for Belt, that's his first hit of the season.
Nice job of going the opposite way. They played him to pull with nobody on here. They set the outside target, and that is a good pitch to location. But Belt lets that ball get in deep and just serves it right over the head of Lamb, the third baseman. Not quite as big a shift with men on base for Belt, but nevertheless he beats it.
Here's McGee, who struck out looking in the second. Swing and a miss. 0-1. McGee didn't have any history against De La Rosa coming into this game. Crawford on deck. De La Rosa taking his time. 0-1. 0-2.
Backed it up. Curveball, curveball. De La Rosa's stuff tonight has been good, and he's had pretty nice command.
Outside, 1-2. See what McGee's doing. He keeps that right foot in the box. Now that's what Major League Baseball wants you to do.
Yeah, it's an effort to knock 7 to 9 minutes off the overall game time. Last year they averaged over 3 hours per game. They want to get down around in the 252 range. That's the goal.
With Goldschmidt, as he moves off of first when De La Rosa's come to the plate, we saw a lot of hits from McGee in spring training where he'd go right down the line.
Yeah, he uses right field very well.
It's 2-2. Tapped foul. You see the rules this season. After a swing or a break in the action, you can step out. And the umpires will not be in charge of violations. They'll have nothing to do with it. Players will be notified, not necessarily right after the game, but at some point that they violated some of those rules, and they warned and fined. Tap foul again. We know that firsthand because you and I and Dave Fleming this afternoon had about an hour-and-a-half long conversation with the former commissioner, Bud Selig. The West Coast offices are right next to our hotel, and we were invited to come see him, and we had a blast.
Yeah, what a great hour and a half that was. He asked the commissioner what he's going to do now that he's retired. He says, I'm going to teach classes at Marquette, at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and at Arizona State. And he's going to write a book.
Got him.
Good changeup. Talked about how effective that changeup is to righties and lefties, and boy, he showed it there. He is thinking he's going to get more than what he got. Swings right over the top of it, perfectly placed below the strike zone. And with a runner at second, nobody out, that's exactly what he was pitching for. Second time he's gotten McGee tonight by way of the strikeout.
Here's Crawford. Crawford lined out to center field. He saw one pitch in the second inning. No balls and one strike.
Another changeup.
Blanco to follow. Giants with a run in here in the fourth. They do have an opportunity for more. Posey at second, Belt at first. And that's tapped foul, 0-2.
Backed it up. So for a guy that throws mid to high 90s with velocity in the fastball, when his back's against the wall, he tries to softball you, and that's how he's gone at the Giants with runners in scoring position. A lot of changeups, a lot of breaking balls.
De La Rosa looking into Gosewich. It's 0-2 to Crawford. See the target away, and it's away from the target, and Crawford's gone.
Yeah, two changeups, and even though that pitch was away from the intended target away, at 97 above the hands, wound up being a pretty good pitch. And a swing through strike three. You see Gosewich reach way across his body.
Eric Cooper very happy that Gosewich caught that pitch.
Well, if he doesn't.
Kind of right in the boiler.
With 97 miles per hour behind him.
Probably wouldn't have felt too good. Blanco can save the day. He bounced out in the second. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Soft stuff early, hard stuff late. Another changeup to get 0-1.
Vogelsong on deck. De La Rosa, if he wanted to, he could use it. He's got a base open. It's at third. There's Vogelsong. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Gregor Blanco. Blanco looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 5 on the season, and that's high, 2-1.
The point you make about the open base is a good one with a pitcher on deck. This is what makes it tough to be an 8th place hitter, because you have to expand your zone in these types of situations. Normally taking a walk is a great at bat, especially with a couple men on base, but with a pitcher on deck, you sometimes have to do more.
So it's now 2-2.
Padres Dodgers underway in Los Angeles after a rain delay.
Tapped on the ground to Goldschmidt. What a job by De La Rosa after the first 3 Giants hitters reached. Giants pick up 1. It's 4-3 D-backs.
Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, the Colorado Rockies are coming to San Francisco to kick off the first homestand of the 2015 season, and on Wednesday, April 15th, 7:15 game, first 20,000 fans will receive a 2014 World Champion Snow Globe featuring the triplets, the 3 World Series trophies, all courtesy of Comcast Sportsnet. You need tickets, go to sfgiants.com/tickets.
Bottom of the 4th inning, and it'll be Jake Lamb to lead things off.
A little concern.
Whole family's here. First pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. 4-3 Diamondbacks. Lamb bounced out to Panic in the 2nd inning, and on the ground ball, it drove home Trumbo, who was at 3rd. A 2-0 strike. Gosewich is on deck, and then Nick Ahmed. This is the 6th, 7th, and 8th place hitters in this Diamondbacks lineup. High and wide, 3-1.
Changeup just has not been there for him. Vogelsong trying to put up a shutdown inning after his teammates scored 1 at the top of the 4th. Trying to get that. You see the arm action there from Posey saying, get on top of that changeup. You're goosing it. You're getting underneath it. You're pushing it.
3-2. I don't know if Eric Cooper called that on the swing or the pitch.
I thought he was pointing down to Cedarstrom, the 3rd base umpire.
Yeah, like it's your call, not mine. And he lost him.
Let's take a look at that 3-1 pitch and watch Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, he struck him out. 1 strike, 2 strikes. And
well, a mistake with a leadoff walk.
yeah, so Gosewich steps in. He hit a fly ball to Pagan in the 2nd. Quick toss. Back is Lamb. Little cat and mouse game now between Lamb and Vogelsong. In tight. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, he's trying to be too fine early in the count, and he's putting himself in a hole. 61 pitches now for Vogelsong. Yusmeiro Petit would probably be the first guy up out of that Giants bullpen should they need to get in there. And a lot of tonight has been out of the stretch here the last couple of innings for Vogelsong. So now they're going to talk about it. Vogelsong can get the ground ball. I mean, that's really what he should be pitching for. He's got a 2-seam fastball and a hard slider, both with downward bite. That does put the ball on the ground. That's his best bet to get that ground ball.
Moving over is Aoki, and he'll put it away. And here's Nick Ahmed, who struck out in the second. Lamb not really a threat to steal. This could be in a tough spot for somebody, and it's going to fall.
Good job of getting the ball in, though. I mean, he jammed Gozawish here.
No idea what Belt just did. Did he spike himself?
He may have. Eric Ortega coming out to have a look. We were watching the fly ball. I didn't pick up what had happened. I mean, Belt was nowhere to be seen.
Dizzy, maybe? Uh-oh. Cramp?
Turns around, takes out after it, and all of a sudden pulls up a little bit of a gimp. Well, that's what we're hoping for right now, cramp.
He said he's all right.
Take one more look as he plants, turns around, starts going back and right here. I don't know if it was a hamstring or a calf.
Well, here's where you have to talk yourself into staying in the game if you feel you're all right, but he's not. So, what do you think? Arias plays first?
Well, I mean, the options that he has is Arias, and it is indeed going to be Arias. The other option would be to move Buster Posey over there and have Hector Sanchez come into the game. But with 4 extra men on the bench, is Bochy going to save his catcher and put Arias in?
So, on the pop-up foul strike to Ahmed, the Giants lose their first baseman. Yeah, look right here, you can see he grabbed his groin.
Well, it isn't a cold night. It's an ideal night. Not a night for cramps or pulls.
Strike to Ahmed. It's 0-2. One out. It was a leadoff walk to Jake Lamb. Fouled out of play. So Vogelsong on the 0-2 pitch went right at him. Padres scored. They are leading the Dodgers 1-0. Although didn't they have a lead on them the other day?
They did.
They did, and Jimmy Rollins took care of that. Ready to freeze him. It's 1-2. On the ground past McGee. So Ahmed with a base hit.
Yeah, nice 2-strike at bat.
That's his first hit of the year. The ball gets on you pretty quick here.
Well, it really does. There are 2 infields in the National League West that have always been exceptionally fast. Arizona being one of them, Colorado being the other one. But this ball hit on the nose, just a bullet top spin, one hopper. Yeah, you catch that ball, it's a double play. Now it sets up a bunt situation as it got by McGee.
1 ball and no strikes. And if the infielders were watching closely in De La Rosa's first at bat, they should know that he runs pretty well down the line.
Well, with Lamb at second and Ahmed at first base, Diamondbacks have pretty good speed on the base pass.
There's a strike.
And the mention of the speed of De La Rosa takes away that play that the Giants like to run when runners at first and second, and there's a slow running pitcher. They'll go for the double play at second base. But I don't think that's really an option with De La Rosa.
Good bunt. Posey's going to third. That's one. Nice throw by Buster Posey. You can't hesitate, can you?
No, you can't. I mean, you have to anticipate that lead bag. Little breaking ball. Didn't really get it out there that far away from home plate. Good quickness from Posey. Just a little hop step, and the rifles a bullet over to McGee. A chest high strike. And watch the path of McGee get back to that bag. It helps when you have a good throw if you're a third baseman in that position. That's not an easy play for a third baseman.
Here's Inciarte, who's 0 for 2. 4-3 D-backs are in the 4th inning. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Look out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aaron Hill is on deck. Diamondbacks scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And it came on the David Peralta 3-run home run. Right back to Vogelsong. So he's going to pitch his way out of this mess. And that's going to end the inning. 5th inning coming up. Vogelsong will lead things off. Right choice. It happened last night. Madison Bumgarner's second career opening day start. His first career opening day win. And what did he do? He went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, an earned run, a walk. He hit 2 batters. He struck out 3 through 93 pitches. And if I remember correctly what you said last night, Mike, you thought maybe he didn't have the best stuff, but he still managed to get a lot of people out.
Yeah, he didn't have a couple of his weapons. His curveball really wasn't a big factor last night. But you know, his ability to dominate that inside corner of the right-hand hitters was exceptional.
And look, that's a compliment. You win without some of your best stuff.
I mean, I think that really is what defines a pitcher. I mean, anybody can go out there and do a good job when you have all your tools working, but when you can give your team a chance to win when you don't have your best stuff, that's when you're a pitcher. You cross the threshold from pitcher to thrower.
Well, Vogelsong's worked it to 3-1. Here's the top of the order. Giants trail by a run here in the 5th. Tapped into center field, a base hit.
Nice at bat. I mean, he was taking that 3-1 pitch all the way. Now with 3-2, you got to protect, go back up the middle, and there's your reward. Just don't walk up a fastball, just challenge right across the middle of the plate. So the Giants do a good job of getting De La Rosa right back in the stretch here to start things off here in the 5th.
Here's Aoki, who bounced out and struck out, with Joe Panik on deck. High and wide, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, she's ready. Oh yeah, big smile at the yard with Dad.
Will not be the last game that these two go to.
No.
Out of play. Second deck. Third base side. Giants with 5 hits, the Diamondbacks with 4. Lift out to left field, a long run for Peralta, and it's over his head, and it bounces into the seats. Oh, that ball took off.
Well, you know you have great carry here, but I think the key for Aoki is he gets backspin on this ball, and it really accentuates the carry when you can backspin. They played him really short and to the line and left, and he hits away from the defense, and I don't think Peralta took a great route. And in the end, I think that's what cost the Diamondbacks.
I never thought for 1 second that he wasn't going to catch it.
Yeah, me either.
So the infielders, with the exception of Lamb at third, are going to play back, as the hitter is Joe Panik. Panik is struck out, and he hit a fly ball to left. He hit it pretty well, but Peralta ran it down. And he fouls the first pitch back.
Let's take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind. Last night, Joe Panik's first career opening day. What's he do? Well, he goes 3 for 5 with a double. Scored a couple times. And on a night where you're supposed to have a lot of jitters as a rookie making his first opening day start, he looked like he'd been in the leagues for 10 years.
He had the magic Wandu going.
He did. That's our AT&T U-verse rewind.
Vogelsong's going to tag. Here's the throw. Vogelsong made it. And it took a miracle slide.
So Roberto Kelly giving him the green light. You can see Peralta, his momentum was coming over. It was not coming to the field. And Vogelsong digging as deep as he could possibly dig for speed. Just does beat the throw. A hand slide, he swings out wide. And the Diamondbacks are not going to contest it. So nice job, Roberto Kelly.
Aoki stayed at second, so here's Pagan.
Good at bat.
Tie ball game, it's 4-4. Pagan has doubled and walked, and he's scored twice. Low. Randall Delgado is getting loose in Arizona's bullpen.
I got to tell you, I was a little surprised they sent him there with nobody out. There's Delgado.
Pickoff play is on, and Ahmed keeps that ball from sailing into center field. Well, be a good time now for Vogelsong to try to catch as much air as possible. One ball and no strikes. Pagan lifts it out of play. Just off the facing of the upper deck. Buster Posey on deck, and then Joaquin Arias after that. Inside corner, he gets the call. 1-2.
Nice pitch. Little 10-seat movement coming back into that strike zone.
So 1-2 to Angel Pagan. Low and away as De La Rosa stumbled off the mound. This will be pitch number 75 for De La Rosa. Vogelsong catching his breath. Two and two. And Pagan goes down again. It's the second time he's thrown one at his feet. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
They're trying to throw the back foot slider, but it doesn't literally mean trying to hit the back foot.
Yeah. It's kind of an expression, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty easy take if you're a hitter. And when you have a 2-2 situation, you want to make that pitch a little more inviting to swing at.
Pagan on the ground to second. Hill will make the play. Aoki goes to third, and here's Buster Posey.
Catcher Buster Posey.
Posey's 2 for 2.
They're not going to mess around with him. With Brandon Belt out of the game, because of a tight groin that kind of bit him as he was going after a pop-up. Joaquin Arias came into the game. And a no-brainer decision for Chip Hill. He really pitched to Arias other than Buster Posey. You remember Joaquin Andahar, don't you?
I do. One of your better friends. Here's Harkey going to come out and talk to De La Rosa.
Well, this is going to be just a review of the scouting report on Joaquin Arias. But Arias, he's been swinging the bat well.
This is not an automatic out, that's for sure.
No, last week in spring training, he was putting together a good swing.
So here's Arias. This will be his first at bat of the 2015 season. One ball and no strikes. Aoki at third, Posey at first. And a strike, so he flops that one in there to even the count.
Yeah, 2 pitches, a changeup and a curveball. So clearly, we've seen De La Rosa do this a lot tonight. Do a lot of the soft stuff early in an at bat, and then try and finish you off with the fastball, kind of pitch it backwards.
Not sure Arias is buying that one. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you got to expand now and protect.
And that's exactly what he did.
Well, I mean, he has no choice. I mean, he realized on that second strike that low strikes are in play, and I mean, that was a pretty good pitch and a 1-2 count from De La Rosa's perspective. I mean, he threw that slider off the plate, let the movement go wide. Arias doing what he had to do. Here's where you're really vulnerable. The whole at bat's gone down around the knees. If you elevate with that high fastball, it's tough to defend.
That's what they're going to throw. Popped him up. Shortstop Ahmed will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. Giants pick up a run. The big fellas are coming up.
in theaters April 17th.
A tie ball game. Giants tied it up in the top of this inning. So here's Hill, who has given Vogelsong trouble over the years. And a breaking ball high. 1 ball and no strikes. A little vulnerable here after running the bases.
He should be all right. He's a hard worker. He came into camp in great shape.
Down the line. And it's a foul ball, but an attempt by Aoki as he jumped up against that wall. And at this point, you just kind of hope everybody wearing that gray uniform gets up off the ground.
Well, he measures it out, jumps up, overran it a little bit. Giants have to feel fortunate this ball landed in foul territory. So Aaron Hill will live to see another pitch.
Good pitch. 1-2. He likes that high pitch. It stays at 1-2.
Yeah, he does. Defends well up above the letters. And I've always felt that Aaron Hill was a good middle-in hitter. Very quick to that side of the plate. There you see number 44 on deck, lurking in the shadows of the on-deck circle.
In tight. 2-2. That was the winning pitcher last night. Left center field in the park. 1 out. And here's Goldschmidt.
First baseman, Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt has walked twice. He was on board when Peralta hit the 3-run home run. And Peralta is on deck. 4-4 game here in the 5th. And a breaking ball for a strike.
Backed it up. And when you're a hitter of the reputation of Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, you just can't expect to see that many straight fastball challenges.
No. And he's got a base hit.
Big swing at the bat tonight. Came to the 3rd inning. David Peralta takes a fastball middle in. And you can see the reaction from Vogelsong. He knew it was gone, and it was gone by 25 rows. Vogelsong had thought he had struck out Paul Goldschmidt on a 3-2 fastball. Didn't get the call, and then the next guy up, Peralta, made him pay.
Outside to Peralta. Goldschmidt, by the way, now has a batting average. His first hit of the year.
Well, and he's also a guy that can steal a base. Got to pay attention to him and do a good job of holding him on.
Trumbo on deck.
Getty calling Mark Gardner down to the bullpen. They're going to open up a can of bullpen.
And at the knees for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Next pitch will be number 85 for Vogelsong, and a lot of what he's done tonight has been out of the stretch. And indeed, it is Yusmeiro Petit, first man up. The home run came on a pitch middle in, and they have kept this at bat away. And the home run hitters will do that. If they hit a home run on the inside corner of a fastball, they'll set their next at bat and look nothing but middle away. Figuring you're not coming back in.
2-2. Arias holding on Goldschmidt. And a quick toss, Goldschmidt back. Eleven hits in the game. Big pitch coming up. 2-2. And we'll have to wait. Vogelsong has been in the stretch in every inning. His biggest workload came in the 3rd and in the 4th. And now full count.
2-2 changeup. Trying to finesse.
And I'm going to guess that Goldschmidt's going to be on the move.
I agree with you.
A strained groin for Belt. That's what they just announced. Three and 2. Runner goes. Milwaukee. This is what happened to Belt if you just joined us. He was chasing a pop-up. And then about halfway through this run, it pulled on him.
He tried to shake it off, but could not quite do it. So he had to leave the game. That's when Joaquin Arias came into first base, and that's when Mr. Posey lost his protection.
Right fielder, Mark Trumbo.
So Dave Urgetti with a chat with Ryan Vogelsong. Here's Trumbo. Trumbo is tripled and he's struck out. And he gets a pitch and he fouls it straight back.
Ooh, that was a mistake. They set that target on the outside corner, and that thing came right out over the middle and up. And that's the location where if the hitter makes contact, it's going to elevate.
Oh, 0-1. Arias will give chase. This is going to be just out of play. Can I please have that ball, please?
Please.
Can I please have that ball?
Please. Thank you. Good things happen when you wear a boa to a ball game.
Yeah, you don't go unnoticed, that's for sure.
A lot of good attitude.
She also brought her glove, though, Mike.
Yeah, gamer.
Got him.
Boy, that was a great two-seamer. Just exploded in on Trumbo and absolutely tied him up at knots. It was a huge pitch. Started in the inside corner and let the movement break down a couple of elbows. And Trumbo gave him a look as if to say, what the heck was that?
That's a perfect example of tall hitters with long arms. And if they can't catch up to something inside, it's going to be bad.
They look like a baby giraffe trying to walk.
Yeah. Here's Jake Lamb. He's bounced out and he's walked. And he takes it in the dirt. One ball and no strikes. Well, I hope the report on Belt is going to be a decent one, but you kind of hold your breath. Groins, hamstrings, obliques, they all fall into that category if you just don't know.
Yeah, strains just don't usually go away in a day.
Tap foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm still not believing in that odd year stuff. I'm not. I'm not.
No. Nor am I.
I'm believing in the even year. I'm just not believing in the odd.
Okay. Well, that's good. Keep those positive thoughts for those even years. He's a believer.
Absolutely, he believes. One and two.
Backed it up. 2 changeups. Now he's on top of him with a 1-2 count.
Up high, 2 and 2.
Tried to finish him off with hard stuff after putting him to sleep with the last 2 changeups. .95 pitches for Vogelsong. He's digging deep right now. There's a lot of work out of the stretch tonight. I mean, he is absolutely going as deep into the bag as he can go.
A little low, 3 and 2. He doesn't have to come in. Tuffy Gosewich is on deck.
Yeah, this is going to be the last hitter that Vogelsong will have tonight.
I believe you're right. Still doesn't mean you're throwing down the middle.
Oh, no, I think he's going to throw an off-speed pitch, maybe a changeup here. He's not going to challenge him to get it in fastball.
Runners go, and this is tap foul. That's what he threw. So on the 3-2 pitch, Goldschmidt and Peralta on the move.
They're going to start it over with the signs. Vogelsong stepping off the rubber. A little stumble there.
Yep. Looked like a spike caught the rubber.
Posey made 2 suggestions. Both of them were shook off. Watch the right foot. Yep. Big pitch right here for Vogelsong.
3 and 2. Foul back. Threw him a high fastball.
Well, that was not the location he wanted to throw it. Easiest place to defend for a hitter is from the belt to the letters. That would be right across the letters.
I think he's giving you whatever he's got left in the gas tank right here.
Oh, you bet.
3-2. Deep to right. And gone. The second 3-run home run in this game. And it's now 7-4. Here's Bruce Bochy's going to come and get him. This will be a double switch.
Yeah, it's a 3-2 curveball. And Lamb was not fooled. And Vogelsong flips the glove up. He knows it immediately.
Hector Sanchez is going to come out and do the catching. Buster Posey is going to go to first. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back. A 7-4 lead for the Diamondbacks.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be Yusmeiro Petit, 6'1", 250-pounder. 30 years old in his 5th year at the big league level. And that's what he did last year. 5-5 with a 3.69 ERA. Great command. 133 strikeouts. He gets 22 walks. I mean, he's got excellent command of the strike zone. You see a high 80s fastball. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. Curveball, slider, and a good change.
Here's Gosewich. Buster Posey now at first. Sanchez behind the dish. Long ways to go in this game, by the way.
Well, you're right. I mean, this is a very offensive yard, but Giants need to stop the offense from the Diamondbacks. And how about Jake Lamb? He's had 4 at-bats this year. He's got 7 RBIs.
In one start.
And one start.
There's a base hit to left field on a broken bat. The Dodger game started about an hour and 15 minutes later than this one, and it's going to end before this one.
The game in the 4th inning. Well, Ryan Vogelsong threw almost 100 pitches in 4 2/3 innings. I mean, that's going to be a slow game.
Here's Nick Ahmed, who singled in the 4th. Swing and going to miss. No balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2. So Ahmed will step out, which you can do after a swing. Kozowicz with his lead. You know, when you think about the injury to Belt, and we don't know how long it's going to be, I'm quite sure that he won't be playing tomorrow. You may see this set up tomorrow with Sanchez catching.
Yeah, indeed. You know, I want to ask you a question. I mean, I know it's getting late in the inning. There's 2 outs, a couple strikes. Not time to start a conversation.
Go ahead. You want to wait?
When we come back.
Okay. All right, 3 runs on the board. After 5, it's 7-4 Arizona. All right, Friday, April 17th is Fireworks Night presented by Hanwha. Join us for an exclusive pregame VIP experience in Triples Alley as we celebrate 3 World Series titles in 5 years. For more information or purchase tickets, sfgiants.com/tickets and click on the Triples Alley experience. Work to do for the Giants. It's 7-4 Arizona. Casey McGee, Brandon Crawford, Gregor Blanco against Ruby De La Rosa, who is very close to being taken out of the game in the 5th inning. But he survives now to start out the 6th.
Hey, the big heads taking a walk through the yard. There's Matt Williams and Mark Grace, Luis Gonzalez.
McGee takes inside 1-0. McGee struck out twice against De La Rosa. There's a strike. The 1-1 to McGee. McGee's having a hard time picking him up.
He has not seen that changeup at all. I mean, all the soft stuff that De La Rosa's been throwing to McGee, he's just not seeing the spin.
Brad Ziegler now throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen. One and two to McGee. Tapped to Hill. McGee 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, if you're looking for the best coverage of San Francisco Giants baseball, log on to csnbayarea.com as insider Alex Pavlovich will provide wire-to-wire reporting on the Giants 2015 season. You get breaking news, videos, special features, and more only on csnbayarea.com.
Here's Crawford. Crawford's 0 for 2. High and deep into left center field. Inciarte on the move. It is out of here. And it's 7-5. Crawford with his first home run of the year.
And he goes oppo left center field. That's a big boy home run. And Brad Ziegler just started heating up a little bit faster. Let's take a look at the location. They set up away, and it's right out over the middle of the plate T-ball location. But to Crawford's credit, he stays solid. It goes right over the wall in left center.
Over 400 feet opposite field. Not bad.
That's impressive.
Here's Blanco. Blanco's going to have his first hit of the year. And it's going to be more than just a single. As he'll put on the brakes. I have a feeling we're going to see Chip Hill.
Well, you're right. And here he comes.
Probably didn't go out on a limb too far.
That was an educated guess.
Oh, my goodness.
Chip Hill quick, though, and he pops out. That's good.
Oh, he's my favorite manager other than Bruce Bochy. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts. With a runner aboard.
New pitcher now for the Diamondbacks, Brad Ziegler, the submarine right-hander. This is what he did last year in 68 games. Very durable, 5-3 with a 3.49 ERA. But the strikeout total is just not something you normally see. 54 strikeouts in 67 innings. That's a lot of strikeouts for a guy who throws from down under. Good slider, good sinker with that several innings. He's even got a changeup, which really I think explains a lot of the strikeouts.
Hector Sanchez is first at bat. And he takes a strike.
I think it's a good matchup for Hector Sanchez. He covers that low part of the strike zone well, and you're going to see a lot of low with Ziegler.
Swing. Ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2.
And there's that changeup, and that is the one that sets him apart from other guys that throw from down under. You know, I was talking about a topic at the end of the inning that I want to ask you about, being a former infielder.
Hooked, foul.
An everyday player. Tonight you saw Vogelsong really labor and throw a lot of pitches in 5 innings. You know, you're coming out of spring training as a player. I mean, those are a lot of long innings to stand out there as a defensive player. Does that beat you up a little more early in the year?
It does beat you up. Down the left field line, the long run for Peralta, and he's not going to get there. Blanco's going to score, and Sanchez has an opposite field double, and it's 7-6. Well, that's what you were talking about, Mike.
He defends that part of the strike zone very well. This was not a hanger either. A little low sinker that had movement running away from him. If you try and pull this, you roll it over, and there you see the target. And it is right off the plate. I mean, that is a good location pitch, and he just flat out beats it, and he beat it by going the other way.
So the last 3 hitters, home run, double, and here's Nori Aoki. Well, what happens when you set up defensively for every pitch, obviously, and that's what wears you out. Because after a while, you find yourself really not setting up properly. You just get tired.
So, I mean, that's kind of a challenge to ask a team to go 14 days at the beginning of the season without a day off.
Ziegler thought he might have had a strike. It's 2-0. Giants fans have got a bit of a chant going. There's a strike.
Pressure really is on the third base coach, Roberto Kelly. You don't have a lot of speed with Hector Sanchez out at second base. Pretty good arms across the board with these Diamondback outfielders. But you can guarantee that Roberto Kelly is running the equations through his mind right now as to what type of ball, if it's hit directly at an outfielder, if it's to a gap, to a foul line. All those things will enter in his decision as to whether or not to send Hector Sanchez. If it
rolls slowly to Hill. Sanchez moves to third. And here's Joe Panic. There's Stacy Slaughter sitting next to her husband Jamie. Stacy, Senior Vice President of Communications, Senior Advisor to Larry. 2 sons, Jake and Ben. So they are enjoying the ball game here tonight. She's a good lady.
Yeah, she's keeping score. Loves her baseball, as do all of her family.
Here's Panic. Panic trying to tie this game up. He bounces this one off his foot. A lot of things going through his mind right now. I'm sure he's thinking about Belt. I'm sure he spent a lot of time today thinking about Matt Cain, Jake Peavy, Hunter Pence. There's Hunter Pence. 0-1 to Panic, tying run at third. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shouldn't have to think that much the second game of the season, should you? Maybe just think during the game. But so much has happened to this team that it's made it tough. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
I mean, you know you're going to get tested during the course of a season. You just don't think it's going to happen the first week of the season. Injuries, of course, are a big part of it.
On the ground to short. Ahmed, side retired. Giants score twice. One on the home run by Brandon Crawford, his first of the year. And it's bye-bye baby. D-backs are coming up at 7-6, Arizona.
And your business. Visit HEFINS.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
We'll follow the Giants all season long in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. So get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
George Pacheco's going to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pacheco pinch hitting for Brad Ziegler. And a strike, and it's 0-1. The 2 big hits in this game: Peralta, a 3-run home run in the 3rd. Jake Lamb, a 3-run home run in the 5th. And a late call strike. It's 0-2. Inciarte and then Hill here in the 6th inning. And the 0-2. And he got him on 3 pitches.
He guessed, and he guessed wrong. I mean, they set the target in the outside corner. This ball just comes right across the middle of the plate. I don't know if Pacheco thought this was low or he was just flat out looking off speed. Pow! Grab some pine, meat. That's a rough at bat.
Yeah, once in a while, you'll see a big leaguer do that. That 0-2 pitcher just not looking for the one right down the middle of the plate.
Why, you're not supposed to guess. 0-2.
Here's Inciarte, who's 0 for 3. Bit of an overthrow, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. has the feel of a Montreal crowd. Kind of quiet.
I think that's a good analogy.
The expansion year '76, when the Blue Jays came into the league, it was very quiet in their first 3 or 4 years. There was a lot of people there. You could hear conversations in the stands between a husband and a wife, maybe a little bit of an argument. It's always very entertaining.
Or a fan that was not too fond of you.
On the ground to Panic. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Hill.
The first time I went up to Canada was 1976 in September, and it was Cherry Park, the Expos' home before they moved into Olympic Stadium. And it was odd because it was so quiet. Now, we've been up there when it's been absolutely off the charts noise-wise, but they weren't particularly good in September of 1976. But last night was one of the quietest big crowds we've ever seen.
Hill 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the 3rd. Although the 2 exhibition games played in Montreal, I don't know, about 4 or 5 days ago, drew 2 huge crowds.
Yeah, Toronto hosted Cincinnati, and they had 45,000 at Olympic Stadium for both games. And they were not quiet.
They were not.
Raucous and rowdy, and they were having a ball getting baseball back up to Montreal, and Montreal trying to get a team back up there.
Buster Posey backpedaling, but it's going to be Panic calling him off. And a nice inning for Petit. Big fellas are coming up for the Giants. Pagan, Posey, and then the pitcher's spot. Summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. 7-6 lead for the D-backs. Vogelsong out. De La Rosa out. Buster Posey's got a home run. Lamb and Peralta have 3-run home runs. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. It's Randall Delgado who is on the hill. You can see his body of work last year. And he'll be going after Angel Pagan to lead things off. Pagan is 1 for 2 with a walk. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. 7th inning. Just inside. Pagan 4 for 7 lifetime against Delgado with a couple of doubles.
Delgado's got good stuff. You're going to see a low to mid-90s fastball, good curveball, slider, changeup. He's a guy who could definitely come out of the bullpen and spot start for you. He's got the 4 pitches you would see from a starter.
So Delgado ahead in the count.
Delgado from Panama.
In the dirt, 2-2.
Rod Carew from Panama. George Canto starts to heat up with the Giants bullpen. Giants have 8 men in their bullpen. Giants, with the first 14 days of the season, 14 consecutive games, they knew they had to beef up that bullpen, which is why they carried 13 guys.
Up the middle, right back to where it came from. I suppose he hit a home run in the first inning. First pitch he saw from Ruby De La Rosa.
Sinker down and in, and just took it right over the wall in left center. His first home run and his first hit.
Justin Maxwell is on deck. And a strike to Buster Posey. Watching Delgado, kind of a old style windup, part of it, and a base hit up the middle for Buster Posey.
Yeah, it is odd to see a pitcher out of the windup take his hands above his head,
especially a reliever.
So many relievers are just so fixated on the stretch position, they don't use both the stretch and the windup. Delgado, I still think he considers himself a starter.
Number 43, Justin Maxwell.
He's just 25 years old.
So here's Maxwell. He'll be taking his first at bat of the season. His first at bat in a Giants uniform, with Casey McGee on deck. Pretty good pitch, misses, 1 ball and no strikes.
Justin Maxwell, a great story for the Giants. Saw him early in spring and he was dropping his back shoulder. His swing was long. He put in a lot of work with Bam Bam Mullins. Flattened out that back shoulder, flattened out his swing, covered up that whole middle end, and he left camp with a lot of confidence. He deserved to make this team.
And then he made the team after all of that work.
I mean, he's had 5 bad hands dealt to him in his career, 5 serious injuries, and he's overcome them. But he really feels like he's due to break out. Finally healthy. Three pitches, 3 breaking balls.
He's built like he could play any sport he wanted to.
He's a big guy, 6'5".
I think we mentioned it in spring training. Really, really good teeth.
Well, and why is that?
I think both parents are dentists.
Your mom and dad are dentists. You're going to have a good smile.
3-2. That's a pretty good eye right there. Either that or you couldn't hit it.
Well, 94 at knee high, just on the black of the outside part of the plate, or just off it. Yeah, that's one you probably couldn't hit.
So 3-2 with Posey at first.
But On a 2-2 count, that's a pretty good pitch to throw.
I remember Vogelsong thought he had one before the Peralta home run. Out of play. Delgado let that one go. He threw that at 95.
Oh, he's got good stuff. Delgado in his 3rd year at the big league level. Originally came up with Atlanta. This will be his 3rd season in a D-back uniform.
Breaking ball, got him. That's not fair.
Well, every other breaking ball was away. This one comes front door, and he kind of gives up on it. Drops right in the inside corner, so sort of wraps around that side of the plate, and it freezes Maxwell.
So here's Casey McGee,
who's very happy Rubio De La Rosa is out of the game, by the way.
De La Rosa had his number. No balls in 1 strike. McGee's only faced Delgado 1 time in his career, and he walked. 0-2. Blocked by Gosewich, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Delgado can give you a lot of different looks. I mean, that's the kind of guy, when he's got command of his stuff, that you can really get along with. I mean, you've got to respect the fact that he's got a lot of different movement, a lot of different speeds. It'll make you get short as a hitter.
Posey's going to get hung up, and they got him. So we'll head to the bottom of the 7th. 7-6 D-backs.
All right, fans, it is time for the 7th inning stretch.
Six, Arizona. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
George Cantos, the new pitcher now for Bruce Bochy. You take a look at what he did in 24 games last year, 4-0 with a 2.78 ERA. George, a much different pitcher than we first saw come to the Giants, in that originally we saw him, he was a 2-pitch guy. Now, fastball, 2 types of movement. He's got a changeup. He'll throw a cutter. And the slider has always been his bread and butter. Canto's 6'3", 215-pounder. He's 29 years old this year. 2 years of big league experience.
Goldschmidt has been on base 3 times. He's scored twice. He's had 1 hit. And the other 2 times he's walked. And a strike from Cantos.
It's about the velocity average you're going to see from Cantos, 92.
Swing and a miss.
And that's the best pitch that he has, that tight slider. It doesn't have the normal spin that you see on a slider. It's a no-dot slider. And it's got just a nice, tight little straight down bite to it, and he has excellent command.
In the dirt, 2-2. The matchup between the Dodgers and the Padres is a good one. Tyson Ross against Zach Greinke. They're both still pitching, and both pitching great, and it's 1-0 San Diego in the 6th. And that started out late due to a rain delay. Goldschmidt's going to have a base hit. So Cantos allows a single to Goldschmidt, and here's Peralta. Peralta 1 for 2. Seems like, well, doesn't seem like it's a fact, but Goldschmidt's been on first a lot.
That's kind of par for the course.
2 walks, 2 singles. Low.
Well, that base hit from Goldschmidt, I mean, it's kind of what he does. I mean, 2 strikes. I mean, he's not a guy that will try and force it at bat. He'll take what you give him, and what he got there was a little slider off the plate, and he went to right field with it. He can hit. When he went down to injury last year and he got hit by a pitch and he broke his hand, it was pretty much all she wrote for the Diamondbacks. He is their centerpiece in that lineup. And, I mean, he's as good as anybody in this National League.
Two balls and no strikes.
Kind of a dangerous pitch when you're throwing a changeup with a runner at first base from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter, because that's a pitch they pull, and there's a big hole on that right side. Better have a good changeup.
Goldschmidt goes, and that's hit off the end of the bat, foul. This home run in the third inning. The 2 home runs tonight by the Diamondbacks, you knew they were gone when they left the bat.
Two 3-run blasts. One off the bat of Peralta, one off the bat of Jake Lamb.
Two and one. See if Goldschmidt goes again. He is leaning. He does not go. And that's hit foul down the left field line and out of play.
The one thing the Diamondbacks thought they had when they came out of spring training was a good offense. They didn't know if they had enough pitching to complement that offense, but they felt that they could score some runs with their lineup. And they certainly have tonight. Chip Hill, the new manager of the Diamondbacks.
Goldschmidt goes from his knees, and the ball squirts away from Crawford.
A one hopper, and it was going to be a do or die play for Crawford. Sanchez just rolls on his front knee. You saw Crawford. If he comes up with that on the bounce, they may have a play.
May have had a shot. You're right.
But it had to be completely perfect, and he just could not get the snag. So immediately, it now becomes a strikeout situation for Cantos. Runner at second, nobody out. That stolen base changes everything in the mind of Cantos.
And another foul ball down the left field line. Trumbo watching on deck. Goldschmidt with his lead at second. And he walked him.
He goes to a slider.
Now right field.
And misses high.
Trumbo struck out twice and he's tripled. Outfield straight away. Foul back. So that one he got in on the hands of Trumbo.
Two-seam fastball just sort of fading in on the hands of the big right fielder for the Diamondbacks. That's where you have to pitch him. Tall hitters, you got to make them beat that pitch at the belt, but you have to get it there. If you drop that down around the knees, then it's a golf shot.
Cantos takes a look at second. And he taps it foul. It's 0-2. Not the quickest paced game of the year. I know it's the second game. Oh, 0-2 to Trumbo. This time Cantos with a double look, and it's high, 1-2.
High and tight, sets up down and away. And it has for 132 years. Giants baseball. Going back inside, however.
On the ground, Crawford. They get one there, and what a nice double play. Boltzmann ends up at third. You could see Crawford maybe thinking about going to third, but those are the plays, Mike, where you know the runner before he hits the ball, and you know he doesn't run very fast, so you go for it.
Now we talk about how fast this infield is, and sometimes a fast infield can help you if you can get to it in time. A good crossover step to the back end, and then a nice high feed, and Joe Panik turns it beautifully. And that's a big pitch from Contos to get that double play. And he went in with a fastball inside to get it.
Here's Jake Lamb. Ooh. Victor Sanchez almost watched that one sail right over his glove. One and 0 to Lamb. Big bouncer to Buster Posey. And Contos will get out of this mess. 8th inning coming up. 7-6 D-backs. At 6 right here in Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. It'll be the final game of this 3-game series, plus complete coverage nightly on Sportsnet Central with the new Giants insider Alex Pavlovich at csnbayarea.com. There you see the schedule, all on Comcast Sportsnet through the 18th. (7-6) D-backs.
New pitcher now for Arizona will be Evan Marshall. You see what he did last year. A nice season, 4-4 with a 2.74 ERA. More strikeouts than walks. 54 punchouts against 17 walks. He's got a good fastball that he'll 4-2 seam with. It'll go low to mid-90s. Hard slider and a good changeup. And he's got a little funkiness to his delivery. Funkiness is good if it doesn't put you in a position to hurt yourself.
Here's McGee. McGee was at the plate when Buster Posey got picked off of first. A.J. Pollock in center field. Inciarte moves to right. Trumbo out of the game. Runs into Casey McGee at 95. So everybody that has come out of the bullpen, with the exception of Ziegler, has thrown very hard.
Marshall came up through the D-backs organization. He's 24 years old. 4th round pick in the 2011 draft.
Hit to third. Lamb with a wide throw, but Goldschmidt stayed with it. 1 out.
You want to see great feet on a first baseman. You watch this play by Paul Goldschmidt.
Shortstop, Brandon Crawford.
Jake Lamb catches the short hop here all the time in the world, gets it up and throws a ball that forces Goldschmidt to kind of come across the bag and just change his feet. And he does so effortlessly and makes a nice play.
It's Paul Gold Glove.
It's Paul Gold Glove.
Here's Crawford, who homered in the 6th inning. Outside off the glove of Gosewicz. 1-0. We're in the 8th. Two 2-0 to Crawford. Blanco on deck. Crawford drives one right at the center fielder Pollock. And here's Gregor Blanco.
Blanco in his last at bat, base hit, finally got his batting average going. The longer you go without a base hit at the start of the year, the heavier that bat gets.
Oh my goodness. So Blanco trying to come up with a 2-out rally. He doubled for his first hit of the year in the 6th inning. Hector Sanchez on deck. If you just tuned in, Brandon Belt left the ball game. He strained his groin going after a pop-up.
And he's listed as day-to-day. The dreaded day-to-day.
Blanco shows bunt. I would rather have Gregor Blanco bunt with no outs or 1 out. He's got enough pop to tie this game up with 2 outs. Pollock coming in again, and he's going to make the running catch. So 2 line drives to Pollock, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-6 D-backs. Stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants post-game live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis. It's all coming up right after the game. These two are ready. They're waiting for a ninth inning rally from the Giants. They brought their colors, they brought their hats, they brought their gloves.
They brought their good attitudes.
Here's Gosewich to lead things off. He's 1 for 3. And Kantos starts him off with a strike.
Now, I've never seen an apple with that on it.
No balls and a strike.
Sprinkles.
I'll say this. A lot of creative things now at ballparks all around the major leagues.
I don't know how they rank on the health factor, but
Well,
they definitely look good. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. I don't know about that one.
that's what they say in the truck. Caramel apple a day keeps the doctor away. Line to left, but that'll carry out right to Aoki. 1 out. Here's Nick Ahmed. A.J. Pollock to follow. And Kantos with a strike. Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead over San Diego. That game now in the 7th. Another line drive at Aoki. That's what you call 2 atom balls, 2 outs. Giants had 2 of them in the top of this inning.
If you're a pitcher and you're giving up outs like that, you're kind of thinking, all right, I'm bulletproof tonight. Good. Throw it up there. Somebody's going to catch it.
Pollock's first at bat. And he tries to lay down a bunt, and it's 0-1.
Pollock got up there, and he runs well. He saw Casey McGee playing way back. He said, well, yeah, I'm going to take it. Defense is going to give it to me. I mean, it's still there for him if he wants to try it again on an 0-1 count. McGee at third base.
1 for 5 last night. Goes the other way with something behind it. And Blanco's going to run it down. So we will head to the 9th. Hector Sanchez is going to lead things off. 7-6 D-backs.
7-6 Arizona. We're headed to the top of the 9th inning. Time now for our player of the game. It's brought to you by Honda. And we go back to the first inning. Buster Posey stepped into the batter's box tonight. He hadn't had a hit yet. And on the first pitch, he saw a 2-run homer. He would follow it up with 2 more hits and a walk. A 3-for-3 night for Posey. He is our player of the game. Brought to you by Honda.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Addison Reed, the closer for the Diamondbacks, 32 saves last year for him. You see his season, 69 strikeouts against 15 walks with 59 in the third innings pitched. Low 90s fastball, but a great slider, and he's got some deception. Watch his front foot stride, a little bit of a cross-body sling. But definitely a strikeout slider. It's a good one.
Hector Sanchez doubled down the left field line in his only at bat. He did that in the 6th inning. No swing on the appeal. Pop backing out of play, so Sanchez now behind in the count, 1-2. Guys have not had too many of their hitters have at bats against Reed, or not a lot of at bats. Sanchez is 1 for 3 lifetime with a double. Got him.
And there's that slider. Got him on top of the 1-2 count. And dropped that straight down quick biter just below the strike zone, and you cannot lay off.
Left fielder, Nori Aoki.
That is a kill pitch.
So here's Nori Aoki. Aoki doubled in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Just need to get 2 hitters on to get Buster Posey up in this inning. The count in at third is Lamb. Lamb's going to take the bunt away from Nori Aoki. Everybody else pretty much straight away in the outfield. And the late call strike, 1-2.
That's a quick break. And it's definitely a break on a slider that'll freeze you. Posey would love to get a shot this inning.
One, 2 in the dirt, 2-2. Two pitch. Hill's got time. 2 outs. And here's Joe Panik.
Second baseman, Joe Panik.
Joe Panik tonight 0 for 3, a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Last hope for the Giants. Angel Pagan would hit if Panik reaches. And a fastball for a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Get so accustomed in a ballpark like this, which is a live ballpark, with carried to all fields, to see relievers come into a 1-run ball game late, pounding the outside corner. But Reed will go both sides of the plate with that fastball.
And the Giants are now down to their last strike. Here's the 1-2 to Panik. 2-2.
Tried the back foot slider down below the strike zone.
Out of play.
Get short, protect. And Reed's not exactly hitting the spots of that fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a full count.
Staying alive.
Yep, Panik is giving him a good fight.
True relievers. Tried to backdoor the slider, and he missed by about a width of a baseball.
Well, I'll say this. Eric Cooper didn't want to go home.
No, he did not, and I think he called it correctly. That wrapped around the plate. But we have seen it called a strike tonight.
Here's Pagan. Pagan is 1 for 3. Now, big gaps here. If you get one in the gap, you got a shot at tying this game.
Well, Diamondbacks have doubles defense. I mean, they're playing that outfield deep to prevent that. And this is where Pagan will gamble. I mean, he can let out some shaft. He's got some pop.
He will cheat on one, there's no doubt.
Especially in a 1-0 count. And Reed, like I said, he hasn't been that spotty with the fastball.
What do you think Billy Hayes is telling Joe Panik?
2 outs. Run like your life depends on it.
And don't get picked off.
That's already happened once tonight.
1 ball and no strikes.
Not to panic.
And he hits the outside corner. Goldschmidt holding on Panik. Gives you that hole between first and second. 2.
And that was that location mistake with the fastball you're looking for, middle in. Hit the outside corner. Look at this thing come across middle in. And that's what Reed has to improve upon with that fastball. I mean, he had some blown saves last year. Too many of them in the eyes of the Diamondbacks. And that fastball did him in more than the slider. It was because of mislocation like that last one. That was an opportunity missed. Don't get picked up.
And don't get picked up.
And run like you're allowed to pitch on it.
One and 2 to Pagan. Got it. And that's the ball game. So Reed with a couple of strikeouts here in the 9th. And the Diamondbacks win their first game of the season.
Well, and in the end, I mean, 2 3-run homers just too much to overcome for the Giants offense.
Final score, the Arizona Diamondbacks 7 and the San Francisco Giants 6.